Okay, welcome to week 12 of the NFL football season of 2024-25 season, where your guy Will is gaining ground on Texas Tony. Right now, I am sitting at 4-6-1. Won last week. Tony is going to be posting a video, I believe, at some point this week. He has to sing a little song, which I'm going to enjoy so much. And hopefully it will be out before Thanksgiving so we can share it with friends and family and have a good laugh. But this week we're going to go over some picks. Obviously I'll talk briefly about the fixed game. I'll say it that way. I don't think there's anything crazy about the game, but it's not a surprise to me why the Browns ended up pulling out the victory against the Steelers when a lot of the money was on the Steelers. This theme just keeps on playing out. So that is even going to affect some of my picks I'm going to go with. But let's just jump in. I'm going to break this into 3 different categories. I'm going to have my easy picks, my on the fence picks, and my hard picks. And I'll tell you why. Let's go through it. Let's go with some of the easy picks. Easy picks, I'm going to go with the Texans over the Titans. I'm going to go with the Commanders over the Cowboys for obvious reasons. Dallas sucks. Also, the Commanders are coming off of a loss, which means they are going to be retooling a little bit. Dallas is just in shambles, so not looking good. KC coming off their first loss of the season. I have them over the Carolina Panthers for obvious reasons. Yes, I do have this as an easy, but man, I'm so rooting for it. I have Detroit over Indy. I'm doing that so I win a bet, but you better believe I'm going to give a big shout out, big shout out. Yes, big shout out to my man D and Missy up in the O-Swag, huge Colts fans. Actually, this is his bowling towel. So Big D, this is a big shout out to you. As much as I'm picking Detroit to win because I need to have Texas Tony fly here to Philly, I don't want to fly to Texas. I will if I have to. I have to pick Detroit to win the bet, but man, I am pulling for Indy so bad. Partially for you, partially because Eagles fans, we need Detroit to lose while we keep on winning and potentially lock up that number 1 seed. So that's a shout out up there. Let's see here. I had this as an easy, but on the fence, Denver over the Raiders. Now this is a divisional game, and I'm wondering if it's time that we can actually start trusting Denver, because Denver has been pretty good this season. But okay, I'll pick them. I'll call that one an easier one, but it's a divisional game, you never know. And my last easy one is our Birds over the Rams. Even though I don't think it's necessarily an easy game, and Devontae Smith is ruled out for the game because of a hamstring injury, I do believe we are learning to trust our run game. Saquon Barkley has been amazing this season, and we still also have A.J. Brown, and I do expect Dotson to at least stretch the field with his speed, and we have we have Dallas Goedert and Calcaterra, which I believe are really good tight ends. So, and our defense, I went all that without even talking about our defense. Our defense has the tools, I believe, to match up well against their wide receivers. Stafford is a good quarterback, but I do believe we should put points on the board and win by a good amount. I think we're 2.5-point favorites away, which says something. So that's good for all the easy. For the on the fence picks, I do have Minnesota over Chicago. But Chicago has this weird, once again, it's a divisional game. Divisional games, anything can happen. But they always find a way to just mess things up, especially that Washington game. That was just horrible. But I do have Minnesota winning that game. I can see how Chicago's going to win, but I'm going to pick Minnesota. Another divisional game, which is on the fence, is New England versus Miami. Now, I'm going to pick Miami here. Part of it's a defensive pick because I don't think Tony's going to pick an upset. So I'm picking Miami. but they're just another one of those streaky teams, could be up and down. I'm kind of surprised I picked this one as a fence game. The Bucks against the Giants. I'm picking the Bucks. Once again, a little bit for a defensive, but you have this DeVito stuff, and you have a new quarterback, and anytime something new happens, it's almost like what happened with Carolina earlier in the season, where you get a change of pace, and then there's life in the team for like one game, and they just blow it up, and then that's where the decision to get rid of Daniel Jones looks to be smart for a week. And then this DeVito guy plays to where others expect, and things don't go so well. So I'm picking Tampa, partially a defensive pick, but I can see how the Giants might win this game. I already talked about the Denver one, and I have this as a fence and a hard game to pick. Arizona at Seattle. I'm going to pick Seattle. And I got swayed a little bit. This is a shout out to E12. I got swayed a little bit to pick Seattle because I got a little crap for picking against them. So this is a friend pick. Also, I got my buddy Eric. It's from up there. He's a huge Seattle Seahawks fan. He's been that way ever since I knew him in the Navy. So it's a shout out to Eric. This is to you. So I'm picking Seattle in this. I do see how Arizona can be very explosive and dangerous in that division, but is this the game where Seattle really just starts pulling away because San Fran's not getting it done like everybody expects them to? So that's for there. Hard games. I only have two more that I'll consider hard. San Fran at Green Bay. I'm going to pick Green Bay, especially since there's word out that Purdy is not throwing during the week. Found that interesting. So I am going to pick Green Bay when it's closer to winter time. We just saw snow for the Browns-Steelers game. So I pretty much go with the colder team during the winter if there's anything on the fence, because it's just something the other teams aren't used to. And without Purdy throwing and with Green Bay making a push, I'm going to pick Green Bay on this. And the last hard one I have is Baltimore at the Chargers. Now last week, before Dallas completely blew it, I needed the Chargers to lose, and it just seemed like they were trying to lose again. They jumped out, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll get this early, I'll get the win for the week early. And then they just let the other team just come back. And the Chargers are one of the harder teams to trust. Baltimore, another hard team to trust, because they can look explosive and great, and then they can lose to the Browns too. So what do you do here? I'll tell you, the reason why I'm picking this is going back to, and I believed in it, but I didn't follow my own pattern as much as I should have, where I think they're going to make a push for LA teams, which is why I'm a little concerned about my Eagles, because if there's any call that can go a certain way, I think it's going to go against my Eagles, because I really believe the NFL is smart enough to try to get LA money. Now, the Eagles aren't favored a crazy amount, and I want to believe that the betting is going to be pretty close, especially with the injury to Smith. So in this one, I'm going to actually pick the Chargers. I'm going to pick the Chargers because I believe they're going to try to make the push, that they're a dangerous team in the AFC that can challenge the Buffaloes and the Kansas City, have Denver kind of in the mix, Baltimore, Pittsburgh. I think they're going to put them in there in the playoffs as one of those dangerous teams, and this is one of the games that they'll point back to during playoff time in order to sell tickets and sell TV and sell all that. So those are all my picks. I'm going Texans, Vikings, Commanders, Dolphins, Chiefs, Bucks, Lions, Broncos, Seahawks, Packers, Birds, my Birds, Eagles, and Chargers. I am going to look forward to Texas Tony for your video on your picks. I hope I hope you keep picking Dallas. It just warms my heart because that's just a win for me every week. And then I'm looking forward to the video that you're going to share of the song you're going to sing about your lovely Cowboys, hopefully before Thanksgiving. Have a great day, everybody, and go Birds.